right, so day 2 at the project here. What we're gonna be doing is sanding this down with about 220 to 240 grit. Get the primer cut down, then we're gonna water sand it, wash it down with 400 grit, and have it ready for paint. So there's a couple of spots that I had to glaze. Here we're just gonna flatten all this out. Some areas the primer went on too thick, it cracked it. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna sand that out here. Shirt hit it while we were priming the roof. All this can be fixed, right? Because this is only the 2K primer stage. All right, let's take a look at the car. Hey, we're also gonna prime the front today a little bit. We sanded the whole thing down with 220, cutting down all of our primer texture, okay? Because you know, when you just spray primer on it, you're gonna get a texture. So we flatten that out with 220 grit. Okay, most of it all done. We didn't worry about the bottom too much because that's gonna be all undercoating. Looks like I gotta do here a little bit. Okay, the goal is to cut this type of texture off and make it look like this. Okay, and then what we're gonna do now is dry sand it with 400 grit and wet sand it with 400. So we have our inner surface pad here, as you can see, with 400 grit. Then we're just gonna give it a hit of 400 grit all the way around dry sand. After that, we're gonna wet sand it down and clean it up, and it'll be ready for paint. This is what we're looking at. Okay, I didn't get all the way close to the edge. I'm gonna try to take the lights out. But when we wet sand, we're gonna clean this up all in here. Okay, we wanna take all that down and make it look like this. Bottom is gonna be black undercoated, so we don't have to worry or get too finessey about the bottom, you know, because it's gonna be all Raptor lined, coming out like that across the top here, and then go around. It's gonna look nice and rugged. All right, when you're tacking, you don't want to push hard, you want to push lightly, okay? Just kind of just scuff the surface, you know, glaze the surface because you have glue there, right? So you're just gonna glaze it, clean it, go over the whole car, make sure the dust is off. Before this, of course, you want to blow it down. We already did that. And then just go over it to take the lint off, okay? The light dust and the lint. Once we do that, that's it, okay? There's no tacking in between coats of single stage because it's tacky, it's sticky, right? They're just going to do a one-time tack, put 2 heavy coats on it, 2 to 3, you know, medium heavy coats on it, and you're pretty much done. So let's go ahead and get painting. All right, so this is the Shopline acrylic enamel paint system here, direct gloss, 4:1:1 mixing ratio. Now the paint rep told me, hey, you don't even have to put hardener in this thing. You could just mix it 4:1 with reducer, but I was like, I mean, don't you need hardener? He's like, yeah, you can put hardener. I'm like, yeah, of course I want to put hardener. So make sure you always get some sort of hardener activator for if you're spraying with enamels, because that just makes your enamel dry a lot harder, okay? If you don't, I mean, you know, realistically, enamel paints are made to just let alone, you know, just spray and it will literally just dry, okay? Over time, I mean, it just dries, okay? But you want to put a hardener in it. Okay, so it was a 4:1:1. So 4 parts paint, 1 part reducer, 1 part hardener. So if I had, you know, 4 quarts of paint, you would put 1 quart of hardener and 1 quart of reducer. But we only put like very little bit reducer, okay, because I wanted this thing to lay on thick, and it was pretty much a good, it looked like a good consistency out of the box to me. So all I did was put a very little reducer, maybe half, 4:1 and then 0.5, like half of what I'm supposed to put for reducer. Okay, and it laid down very, very nice. Okay, so again, it's a 4:1:1. So for every 4 ounces, you're gonna put 1 ounce of hardener. So with 16 ounces of paint, you would add 4 ounces of hardener and 4 ounces of reducer, but I kind of put like 2 ounces of reducer instead. I didn't want to thin it down too much. I wanted it to cover really nicely, okay? And it covered really nice, and it gave me a really good gloss flow out too, so hope you enjoy. Alright, so I'm going to do a lot of talking in the beginning of this video, then I'm just going to let you watch it, alright? I left it long on purpose because when I learned how to paint, I used to just watch my dad paint. Okay, super important, just watching. Okay, how you paint, you know, basically the paint pattern, you know, where you start. So normally you always start on the top of the roof. Okay, you start on the inner side and then you work your way to the middle. Okay, and then you pick it up back on the other side. And if it's a long roof like this, you know, you're gonna have to get down on the floor, move your stool or your little bench over so you can stand on it and continue. Okay, sometimes people split this into two paint jobs. Like if it's a big van they're doing, like I'm about to do a van soon, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna do the roof one day, like get the whole thing ready for paint, but just do the roof first. Okay, because I'm also thinking of doing the roof silver to keep the van cool, and then doing the body a green color. I'm not 100% yet on the colors, but that's what I'm planning on doing. Do the top first, and then later on you could just mask up the top and then shoot the sides. A lot easier. You know, it breaks things down for you, and you could just break it into two paint jobs, especially if you're doing two colors. Okay. This bumper cover, I screwed up a little bit. Now keep in mind, this is a quick paint job, but you can see how easy single stage covers anything. All right, I'm going over raw plastic here. All right, all I did was put adhesion promoter, Bulldog adhesion promoter. I just sprayed it on here lightly, okay? And then I'm just basically covering it with single stage enamel. Okay, another way to have done it a little bit more correctly was to do your Bulldog adhesion promoter, okay, put 2K filler primer on it, all right, and then sand that down, get it smooth, okay, and then go ahead and put your single stage paint on top of it, like that, okay. Again, there's many ways to do this, okay. There's, you know, some faster ways, okay, and then there's the correct longer way, okay? And the faster ways are faster, but in the end, the paint job might not last as long. It might chip later in a year, 2, 3 years from now. You know, you never know. It all depends on how much the person cares for the car, okay? Because if you kept this thing in the garage, kept it waxed and cleaned, it'll last for a very, very long time. But if you keep it under a mango tree, okay, for 2 years, like my friend did, your paint job turns to crap very, very quickly, you know, within months. Okay, bird crap goes on it, eats everything up, you know, tree sap. All right, it all depends on how you care for the car. Now, I'm just picking up the paint job on the other side here. Right, you can see how the gun bud light system does so much, and a lot of people get screwed up with painting because they can't see. You know, you need to make sure you're seeing the gloss lay on as you paint. Now, if you see this here, it's glossy. Okay, if it doesn't look glossy to you, go back and hit it again. All right, here I'm picking it up on the other side. I'm coming back now. This is the second coat of paint. We went around the whole car 2 times, and I had a little bit of extra paint mixed up, so I actually did the hood 3 times. I had a little extra, so I said, hey, let me just go over the hood. I shot the hood 1 more time. All right, just for you know, SHIT and giggles, okay, just in case we have any younger kids watching this. But I'm using the X88 gun, and it's spraying out fantastic. So I'm at my friend Tony's shop here. He just moved in not long ago, and he's just like a bang in and out kind of guy. He's always been like that, right? Get the job in and out. Okay, he doesn't do super expensive jobs. He does it once in a while, but he does fast paint jobs for people. You know, $2,000-$3,000 paint jobs. He's in and out, and he didn't have time to set up a water filter, so I had problems with water condensation coming out of my line. So all we did was we just taped a towel around my coupling because the coupling was leaking air. Okay, and he didn't really paint in this garage many times yet. I don't think he even painted it complete. I was the first one doing it complete. Came out pretty good, so he started painting completes in here instead of renting the spray booth across the street. Okay, so that's why we got, you know, some paper towel and some 3M tape on the bottom of my my gun there. Super important to have that red water filter at the end. It's cheap, $6 insurance. I advise you to pick up 3-4 of them, keep them around, okay, because worst case worst, you have one of these on your gun, it really helps. The reason why